Good evening, everybody, and Happy New Year's Eve. Again, I'm back. Now, tomorrow I want to do my Lindsay video, okay? Today, since it's New Year's Eve, I'm going to reflect on the year. Guess we didn't know I spent 9 months of this year, and I say that much longer, in Austin, near Austin, Texas. I moved there last October 23rd, 2017, and I moved out August 3rd, I think it was. I mean, I was supposed to come home on for a visit on like a couple of weeks later, but with the heat in Texas, and there was drama with a couple of girls that lived in the house I lived in, I couldn't take it any longer. So I texted my mother and I said I really want to come home and I want to stay home permanently. So basically she flew on a plane down to Texas and brought me home. Which, I mean, arranging everything to be sent to me, everything I had in Texas had to be shipped home, which took, a couple of days. Not that I was moving, like I was moving to Iowa or someplace. That would take probably, well, depending on where I live in, but, I'm sure if I moved to Florida, it would probably be the same way, but, most of living in Texas is fun. Between Halloween, say the end of last year was pretty fun. I was there the 23rd, which was the Monday before Halloween. I spent like 3 days unpacking, and then, let's see, and I wasn't taking classes yet because I was still unpacking, and I asked for, a few days to get used to where I was living, because it's a huge place. I mean, it's like the Pentagon and all these houses, and then there's, I didn't know where to go first for everything, and, I wish I had a better background than all these pictures of stuff behind my head, including this hat, but, and I know if anybody can hear my music, sorry. I'm wearing the hat because I have roots in my hair, okay. Plus I'm trying to stay awake till midnight, which is not an easy task to do. Right? It's 8:30 already. I mean, usually go to bed at 10:30, but usually I can't stay up past, I'm trying to not stay up past 11. But anyway, the holidays were pretty awesome, and then the Friday after I got there was like a weekend of Halloween parties. So I was Gwen Stefani again. That was probably my last year being Gwen, except for Halloween. Yeah, I was Gwen. I was wearing fake leather pants, faux leather pants, and a black sparkly top and a long black sweater that was kind of lacy. And I had, blonde hair and the red lips and all Gwen stuff. Look like I'm mugging somebody right now. This outfit. Anyway, let's see. The next week I started class. The only problem is you had to get up at like 6 in the morning every single day to take meds, and I couldn't sleep because I was sleeping in a dinky little bed like the ones they have in jail, and which of course killed my poor back, and I was walking all over the place. I mean, I tried to ride my bike, but happened. I finally gave the bike. When I got home, my friend there sent me a message on Facebook Messenger saying, "Hi, can I have your bike?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, you can have it." I tried riding it seriously, I did. I'd have people push me, like, I felt like I was either that thing used when you learn to ice skate when you're a baby, or training wheels. That's what I needed. I felt like I needed training wheels. I should have gotten it. Many people there at the one building that's called the Ranch, which some of it is being torn down to be turned into something called lodges, which are almost finished. They've been working like all of this whole year practically building them. They started in January and they finished just recently, which they did an amazing job, seriously. I mean, it used to be a baseball diamond, and now it's really awesome places that have spots for people who are sensitive to loud noise like me, which happened another time as well. I came home for Christmas. You can only go home for either Thanksgiving or Christmas. Many of the people there live in Texas, so they either go to Houston, San Antonio, Corpus Christi, Austin, few other towns. I mean, at this point, he was making friends, and my nieces and nephew came home for Christmas. They showed up here and surprised us. Is that right? No, actually, I knew they were coming, and so I came home. What day was it? Well, actually, my mom came to Texas for the Christmas program they have on the Friday before. What day was it? It's December 14th, I think. Yeah, something like that. And she brought me home. Then my family, they got here Christmas Eve, and they spent a few days with us, and we opened presents. The day they got there, it was a beautiful day, and we were outside playing in the leaves since we didn't get any snow, kind of like right now here, actually, a year later. They didn't come this year, by the way. They went to Georgia to see Lindsey Sterling and other stuff. Sorry about the music in the background. But anyway, let's see. Then I went back on January 6th, and apparently I was not told that the leader of the village where I was living was planning on moving this girl, she's not new, into my house, and they moved that girl into the front, and they moved one of the girls there, her name is Sarah, she moved her into that room, so she and I were roommates. And actually the first roommate I had was named Stephanie, and I don't know what happened, but I was living with her for a short while, and then all of a sudden she ended up moving out into a different place. And I mean, I'm still very confused why she moved. But anyway, by that point it was like, mid-January, and they moved the girl in. She and another girl in my house were basically like accusing me of stealing their things and a bunch of really, really stupid things. And I'm like, I did not do this. They kept doing this every single day from the day she moved in with another girl to, and a bunch of the girls in my house were fighting a lot. And I mean, people do that, okay. you have 6 people in a house, and I'm just saying, I'm just thankful I didn't room with that girl, because it was this constantly every day, and plus I had to get up early. I couldn't sleep, and you know, by like, I don't know, a few months in, I was ended up started taking something that made me go to sleep, and just like I said, I'd wake up at 6. It was still dark outside. I had to get up, put on the face, go take my meds, come back, get dressed, you know, check stuff on my phone, of course. You know, go outside when by 7:30 in the morning. I'm usually still half asleep. Like everybody else is still half asleep by that point. And let's see, we had breakfast, and then it was so loud in there. Finally, they will let me. Like I said, he's the boss of the village. Though I think a lot of people wanted to have Marcus, who was at the ranch with the building. Like I said, they tore down the end of last year. Actually, it was like January, so it's almost a year ago that they tore down. I don't know if they tore down the ranch yet. I need to find out. I'll do a video on that when I find out, my friend. Let's see. And, you know, I went to class. Of course, a lot of the time I try to pick, they keep putting working out, and I'm like, you know, listen, I worked out when I was a couple of years ago, in 2016 or so, and I had a trainer that I liked. These trainers were vicious. Times I ended up in tears, and I ended up once leaving.
Okay then.
Sorry, in the middle of a workout to go cry out to Will and other people and pull me off the working out list. And finally they did, and I spent the next semester happy. And that went on from like, I don't know, most of the year. Most of the classes I liked, except this one, the art teacher. I mean, she was a vicious woman, I swear. She made everybody put their phones in a box. I mean, I check my phone a lot because I want to, in case there's an emergency, like somebody died or something, then I would, you know, probably wouldn't have gone to class. And plus, in April was my uncle and my sister's anniversary, so their passings, and Will thankfully let get me out of class for those 2 days, and I was so happy, you know. I mean, a lot of times when I went to bed, I was like, I found my position to sleep on, but I couldn't sleep, so I had to get a mattress topper. And I mean, it did help, but I wanted to sleep on the floor. Plus, there's no door on those houses. It's so freaking stupid. And I had to finally get a bunch of sleep masks and put that on. And the problem was one RT, resident trainer, who was also vicious. And one time she actually made me watch me take a shower, and I was freaking livid at this woman. And I told Will, I said, I don't want her. And then of course months later this happened with another RT. Not that happened.
Okay, where's the cheese knife? Help, help, help.
I told, you know, there's one trying to sneak into the bathroom, and I'm like, I don't want you in here. This happened before, months earlier, with that RT named Chris, and I finally talked to Will, and he agreed, and I don't remember what month this was, but I was at my wit's end by the end of, well, August, by the time I got out of there. By then, you know, the lodges were starting to be nearly complete. I don't know what was going on inside, but those houses, I mean, I was supposed to move into one of them probably I mean, I could have been almost living there by now, if not in the next couple of weeks. But all the stress, plus found out that they upped my meds, and I was taking more meds, and I think that was happening to everybody there, except for a few lucky people. I mean, I used to never take meds at all until 2011, okay, after my sister passed away, and so, you know, by August I had enough. I was done with that place. I felt like I was in jail, plus they didn't let me go out sometimes, and I signed up for things like going out to lunch with the coach, and apparently this guy had something for me too, because I didn't get salad like he wanted me to. I'm like, I don't like salad, okay? I can eat, you know, carrot sticks, but I don't, with ranch on it, but I won't eat. And they say that I was kept going back and forth, which is a lie. And then, of course, the nerve of a certain, Jackie's, the one who picks out what classes you're taking and doesn't tell you what classes you're taking until she gives it to you for the next semester. And sometimes assigns you different ones, and then at least my friends are like running off to her to fix that. And you know, I told Will and that, like, I don't want to work out, okay? It's not helping me. Either end up in tears, yelling at them, or a mess. And by the time I got back to my house, I was, you know, dealing with the drama in my house and those girls. And now were they picking on me? But then they moved another girl named Missy into another house. I mean, seriously, they should have moved me to 13, which is the independent house. You know, I know how to cook and clean. They don't hook up the microwave and the oven, and I mean, I can cook, but you know, the oven still does kind of freak me out with the coils. I have an oven with coils in the bottom, and when those are on, I try to avoid using, I only use the top rack in the oven and not the other ones, obviously, but it's ridiculous. Let's see, what else was there? But I mean, I'm sure that now, after I left, that the mean teachers probably realized that, you know, I mean, they could have sent me a card or something saying how much they miss me or something, but I'm like, say hi to so-and-so for me, and, you know, hopefully the mean ones realize that how they treated me like that, which is not cool. Obviously, I feel like I was either like a 80-year-old woman who needs a lot of help, or a 5-year-old kid who needs a lot of help. You know, I'm too old for this nonsense. You know, a day after day of, you know, you need to take a shower, wash your hair, and all this stuff. I'm like, I already did, okay? You don't need to remind me every 5 minutes, okay? And then getting back to the going out thing, sometimes they won't let me go to, like, HEB or just like Publix, and the Publix of Texas. Publix is in Florida, obviously. Hold on. Sorry about that. Let's see. You know, I've been dying to put this video up for, you know, 4 months since I've been home. It's just, you know, running to appointments and getting ready for the holidays and trying to calm down from all this. You know, my mom, immediately when I got home, she pulled me off a lot of those meds, and, you know, I'm just thankful that I didn't have a seizure after they tried to take me off my seizure meds. I mean, seriously. If I had had one, I would have probably either sued that place or called Uber and had them pick me up and take me to the airport and taking me home and have my stuff shipped to me when I got home. Now, I still have stuff in my basement from there, and I haven't unpacked, including a bunch of pictures that I need to hang up here, and DVDs and books, and I mean not the ones that I've given to friends and family members for, you know, Christmas this year. I mean, I've given, like, I don't know, a few books, and then of course the mean girl was like, "Can I have such and such?" I'm like, "No, you can't have that." Like, after the way you treated me, first by the day my mom was there to pack me up, she was in my room like, "Can I have this?" I'm like, "No, it's mine." And I mean, I think a lot of people there were a mess because of the meds. I think everybody was highly medicated. And I know she was, and, you know, I want to live in a place that because actually, do what I want without, and plus, some of the classes they started teaching you stuff that, you know, I learned in elementary and middle school and high school. I'm like, I know this stuff, okay? When I got a piece of paper with, like, math problems, I'm like, first of all, I hate math. Second of all, like, is this a refresher course? I mean, what about the people that are, like, older than me who, I mean, some of those people didn't seem to grasp this stuff very well. I mean, I think some of them were like 60 and older. And, I mean, some of them could have had Alzheimer's for all I know. And, like, I know how to do this stuff. I learned this in school. You know? I mean, it's been a while. You know, it's been 16 years as of this year since, you know, I was thankful it wasn't hard stuff, hard math, like algebra. No, my nieces are both doing that. I mean, I even asked my oldest niece once if, you know, she should possibly think about dropping out of algebra, and she was like, no, it's okay. I'm like, well, I tried doing that, but it lasted about 5 minutes. Like Spanish. Now I know Spanish, or if I go to Mexico or the Caribbean or someplace, but I mean, most of those people speak English, so hard to feel to do. And I'm like, I'm just leaving there, you know. Plus, you're not supposed to have your phone. I'm like, I need my phone in case, like I said, in case something happens to somebody, and, you know, somebody passes away, or, I don't know. If something happened to somebody when I was in that class, I got back to my phone and found out that they had died or something, I would be very upset and mad, and, you know, I was worried that, you know, my cat has died back. I'm very worried that she was gonna die on me or somebody else, or, you know. I mean, I understand that the drama was caused by these people's meds, but, you know, they had no right to pick on me. Plus, I mean, this one girl, her name, that moved in February after my birthday, when my mom came to visit, and took my roommate out to eat, which was awesome. It happened a couple of other times for her birthday, which is a couple weeks after my birthday, which is super awesome. With her family lives in California. Well, some of it. Yeah, they were nice to her, and her name is shoot, what's her name? Shoot, I can't think of it. But then this other girl moved into my house after the girl Missy moved out. Her name is Catherine, and she's very nice, and she started getting picked on too by, like me, she was in tears and basically running off to tell Will and his lovely assistant Jenna before she moved earlier this year to, it was earlier this year, it was like a month before I moved out. And, you know, then Julian, the mean girl, kept getting in trouble for everything to the son, and I sure hope that she's changed, because my friend there told me that there wasn't any drama at the moment, but, you know, people will be returning from Christmas break on this, probably it's the 6th, so, you know, it's like a week away, and I mean, they didn't let her go home for a break once or twice because of, they kept taking away her TV and her DVD player and her phone and other stuff. I mean, they almost tried to do that with me, but I'm like, no, I need my phone for an emergency. And I keep saying, if you do it, you know, there's going to be heck to pay. I'd say that, but I think they, my favorite day, of course, was last month that I was there. I had, you know, I had like this class where I got to like color and relax and stuff. And then I had a break, which is super awesome. But then I had still to work out. But I must say it wasn't really that bad, except for a couple of times because, you know, they kept trying to get me to work out for an hour. I'm like, I want to work out like 15 minutes at least, and then I don't know, because when I worked out, like I said already, I worked out a couple of years ago, and my trainer was super awesome, and she let me do whatever I want. These people there, like I said, were vicious. They would not let me, you know, they made me do either the treadmill, the bike, or the elliptical. The elliptical, after I did it actually wasn't that bad, but I was like, the steps were like, felt like I was doing like cross country or something, and the treadmill was like, I kept looking at the clock or the TV that was playing Friends or whatnot, and or listening to music, except for a couple of times my phone was getting really low, and you know, I was like, I can't do this, you know. I mean, I kept arguing my points, and they were like, do you just want to go back to your house? I'm like, yes. So I did, and I know I probably got some marks from the teacher, those mean teachers, but seriously, it was ridiculous. I mean, like, she tried to put me, Janica tried to put me back on this dribble again for working out, and I'm, you know, once I went into her office, and I'm like, can you please switch the working out with something I like? And she was like, I can't do that. I'm like, and she actually said, it was something like, you need to work out. I'm like, I mean, I think she was saying that, you know, I was overweight, which, I mean, I kind of was, but I did lose weight because they put me on a stupid diet that it took away, you know, bread and stuff until I was finally allowed to I mean, there were a couple of times where I didn't eat anything, and of course that didn't work well. Plus, in the house, just you couldn't have snacks until 8 o'clock at night, which is like when you haven't eaten since noon, if not breakfast. You know, I actually did have a stash of stuff in my room, as did my roommate, because the other rest wanted to freaking starve. And I mean, I got grounded once for like not doing my chores by stupid Chris, and they're like, you can't go out because I'm like, Will already told me I could go out because I need to get either my hair done, my nails done, and those nail places kind of stunk anyway. Not, you know, I want people that speak English. Okay. Who know what they're doing. But anyway, she wouldn't let me go out a few times for really stupid things, and I'm like, Will already told me I can go because I need to get either like I said, my hair done, my nails done, or I need to get something. I was either out of granola bars, my stash, or all sorts of things that I needed, and they wouldn't let me, well, except for the days when we went out to Starbucks or some other place, which I'm like, I went to Starbucks all the way over that stuff, and those other places too, and they were nice, but you know, this video is half an hour long already, but you know, like I said, I've been wanting to do this for months, and now I'm finally doing it, so I just had to get, I mean, I had to buy a notebook and started writing in that thing. I mean, I started it in November, I think, and then when we broke for Christmas, after the, like I said, the Christmas program, what was last year's theme? This year it was Christmas Story. Last year it was like the first Christmas or something. It reminds me of South Park for some reason. But if this video gets any longer, my battery is probably getting low. I'm not sure what to call it. You know, that was basically my year. Like I said, I felt like I was in jail, school. I call it school jail. I mean, I want to find the staff. If anybody says that, because that's what it felt like. I was stuck in this place, and I'm learning stuff that I already know. I mean, plus they're making like all these. Occasionally, I make like old people work out, which I'm like, is that really good for? I kept saying that. You know, the coaches. I'm like, should so and so really be working out? I'm like, what if they fall down? I'm like, I'll say my best friend has cerebral palsy. Okay, I don't want her to fall down. Okay. Her birthday is tomorrow, by the way. I doubt she's watching this, but happy birthday, girl. Did I actually see that? I don't know. At least I got therapy and a notebook, and you know, my mother was the one who kept me sane when I was there, seriously. Because at the time, my best friend, I haven't seen my best friend in person for months, and at Christmas, her aunt lives in Marbridge, and she came with her mom and one of her sisters, and you know, we were just talking on the phone a bit ago, and I feel like, you know, I want to start a new year fresh. I want to, you know, I mean, there were some good things that happened this year, like going to see Lindsey Sterling, for example, and a few Christmas movies and stuff. Then we went to see a thing called Festival of Trees, and there was, you know, I still haven't seen Nutcracker, the movie, yet, but you know, these holiday and people's holiday lights. I mean, we're still haven't gonna start around looking at lights because people are going to be taking them down soon, probably this week or so. I mean, it's hard to believe it's 1 week ago it was Christmas Eve and now it's New Year's Eve, and this year's gonna be, I mean, it's already a new year and, you know, Europe and stuff. It's like 3 in the morning in London right now. I mean, people in New York are partying to like all night, which, you know, kudos to them who can stay up all night, but I personally can't because, I mean, thankfully I'm recording this stuff, so if I conk out for, I mean, because on cruises there have been times where I, like, it gets to like 1 in the morning, like, we have to be up by 8:30 for breakfast. It's like 1 in the morning now. I need sleep. Thankfully my friends were understanding because I think a couple of them were, my best friend, you know, the birthday girl tomorrow, she could party all night, but a couple of us were like, however, we're in the casino. We went to the casino and we were there for about, I don't know, it felt like a minute or so, and we got bored and went to the disco. The problem with the disco on a cruise, it's not open till 10, so between 7 o'clock and 10 o'clock, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Since nothing's open besides go shopping, or it's dark, you can't see the water outside. It reminds you of Titanic too much. And it's either, like I say, or go to your room and charge something, or I don't know. I mean, I have Wi-Fi on my phone on the cruise, but, you know, I don't want to have a huge bill, because I have a friend who had a humongous bill from playing video games, and sure, Fearless Leader loved that one a lot. He was pretty mad. Sorry. Here I'm flipping between, like, NBC and ABC for the New Year's stuff, which, like I said, is being recorded, and if I make a video by this weekend, I probably won't be wearing a hat much longer. Also, I'm going to be going to Florida, so like I said, in other videos, if anybody watches them, I will be doing hauls and stuff. I mean, a lot of people vlog stuff, so I might be lugging this iPad around with me to record, you know, like, anything that I won't get in trouble for, like going on Pirates of the Caribbean or Splash Mountain. You know, Disneyland, I mean, you know, I filmed Splash Mountain, not the ride, but like a couple of the lift hills. I was like really heavily into the lift hills. I mean, that was the days of, it was 2007, mind you, when I went there, so it was, we didn't have iPhones till a couple years later, so it was like, you had to, you know, buy one of those cameras and try to not have the flash go off, and have Disney cast members freak out on you. This video is almost 40 minutes long, but, you know, I'm going to call this this is just, I'm going to call it story time. I've seen that in other videos before. I have to say, who are these people in these shows? Here's your shows. I mean, it's 9 o'clock, but it feels a lot earlier than that, or later. I mean, some of these things, I know they film months or weeks in advance. I mean, the Disney Christmas Parade, they filmed it about the 2nd or 3rd of the month. And, you know, then it's broadcast, of course, on ABC, which of course is owned by Disney. And they show it Christmas morning, of course. Like I said, that feels like a million years ago, because in a few short hours it'll be a new year, and it's kind of crazy. You know, this year was crazy. It'll be a kind of rivals 2016 with all these losses we've had of celebrities. I mean, there's Kate Spade, Anthony Bourdain, George Bush, Barbara Bush. There's so many other good people. this video is 40 minutes long. I really need to end this before I'm out of space on my iPad. I need to plug this into my iPad, my computer, and I put in my computer and my phone into my computer and free up some space. But anyway, that's my experience of living in Texas. You know, not all of it was bad. I made some great friends, and we're still friends, and that's what matters. And you know, I did learn some stuff. You know, that I can stand up for myself against, you know, mean staff members, mean people. I don't know what you call a less than an acquaintance. So she felt like she was like an enemy. But there was mean staff members. I was like, you know, I dreaded seeing them because a couple of times they were like, why weren't you in class? I'm like, I was either not feeling well, I don't know. I was either in a meeting with somebody, crying my balls out, therapy, other classes, and oh yeah, I don't want to see you. I mean, there were a few days where some of those mean teachers weren't there, and I was like, yes, we get a break. Except for I still had to put my phone in a stupid box, but I kept it in my phone in my purse, which was not really fun, but then they're like, and the art teacher again was like, you need to keep, I'm like, I need my lipstick and my phone, okay. I'm like, if somebody dies, I'm going to be crying my eyeballs out in Will's office. I'm going to blame you for it. You holding me up against this. I mean, like I said, I left working out a couple of times to go cry in his office because of it happened to one of my friends whose room I used to have. I mean, she desperately wants to move back into that room. I mean, me moving out was a really quick decision. It only took like a few days to get, you know, a moving truck ordered and my mom down there, and you know, me to say goodbye to, I mean, I didn't say goodbye to most people. My roommate, I'm like, I say I'm moving home. She's like, who said that? I'm like, me? I'm like, you think I want to be here with certain people being in our house, constantly on my case for everything? Which I did not do any of that stuff, obviously. I think it was the staff. They were constantly in everybody's business and everybody's rooms, checking for missing, you know, for food, and like missing glasses that you took out of the cafeteria, which actually happened to me a couple of times. Plus I kept spilling water all over the floor from the fridge, and there was a time where the fridge broke and the ice machine wasn't working or something like that. Yeah, it was the ice baby. Alright, I'm like flipping through all these channels. Nothing's on at 10. I mean, tomorrow's the Rose Bowl parade, and I mean, that's the only thing about January 1st that I like, besides being my best friend's birthday and a new year and stuff. But thinking back to the end of last year when I was having fun until they moved that girl into my house, that's when it started, the drama. Like I said, by August, I had enough of living in that crazy house. I mean, if they would have moved me into a house with, you know, people that, if you could pick out, like, well, between my roommate Sarah, my friend Molly, who's, like I said, whose room I had, and that's like 3 people right there in one house that I would like to live in it by ourselves somewhere. I mean, actually, like 2 people moved out, and like 4 people moved in, like, weeks of each other. It was me and then my friend Jamie, who's a guy, and then the other two. And then Jenny, that's her name, Jenny. She moved in after me, and then Catherine. I mean, I don't know if they moved anybody else in, but like I said, if I could move into, the lodges, like I said, are still almost will be complete in a couple of weeks. Because when I saw that on Facebook or someplace, I was like, like I said, they tore up an old field to build a bunch of houses on top of, which kind of sounds like Iowa, actually. And they're tearing down cornfields to build houses and banks and businesses on top of, which I'm like, how do these, it's like building on top of a graveyard almost, how they, houses on top of the ground when it's, I'm hoping that the ground underneath was, I don't know, the fields, the water went like seep into your house and covered it in mold or something, like during Katrina in New Orleans, There's a little image there of that, It's not rolls. Yeah, so this video is almost an hour long, but I had to post this. I really hope somebody watches this because it teaches you a lesson of, what can happen if you live in a place that people treat you like either a 5-year-old or an 85-year-old. I'm just thankful that, I have my mom on my side and my uncle, and, there are people that are like, are you planning on moving back? I'm like, I'll say only if certain people move out and, I get my conditions met, and that I get to pick, like, what classes I take, and, I also wanted to get a job, but, I started taking the working class, and after I finished that semester, I was like, okay, can you get me a job now, please, somebody. Basically, I spent all of this whole year trying to get a job, and they wouldn't give me a job for probably the days that I'm skipped because of either I was sick or, remembering my lost loved ones, and, like I said, the days where I got to, but I mean, like I said, that class on Friday, the drawing was pretty nice, but I just sat at a table in an uncomfortable chairs. Okay, I like chair. Oh, there was a time I would identify with another girl over a chair because, I'm like, I like this chair. It's my poor back. I mean, when they wouldn't let me get once I tried to get my hair done, the person who was supposed to take me was off somewhere, and I, like, ran around the whole campus trying to find her, and finally I found her, and she, the hairdresser was like, I have to call me, and was like, I have to leave and get my daughter, or something like that, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but I couldn't find my ride. And finally, they took me to my appointment, which I nearly missed. And I was working out, of course, but thankfully I got my hair done. But I mean, the place I went to was pretty nice. Oh, except for the one time where they tried to make my hair purple. I mean, it did look kind of cool. Actually, sometimes I keep getting lipstick in my hair, which turns it pink. I mean, Gwen Stefani had pink hair in the 90s, okay? I want Lindsey Sterling's pink hair. I don't know if it would cover up my roots completely, though, but it'd be cool. Oh my god, this video is almost 50 minutes long. But, yeah, like I keep saying, I'm trying to do my Lindsey Sterling video. I'm going to have the hat on, but her tour book's in my mom's car, and I need to run out there tomorrow and grab it when I wake up at noon from partying, and I need another glass of probably 50 minutes. Anyway, I keep trying to end this, and then I keep adding more things in there. I just want to say I'm just thankful that nothing happened to my phone or my iPad when I was there. That's the whole, you know, putting my phone in the box and not having my phone, which, like, I'm lonely without my phone, okay? Like, a few good things were, like, people coming to visit and me actually getting out of there to go get sparkling water or milk, or probably weren't allowed milk on that list for some reason. I mean, we had that at breakfast, but, you know, I didn't drink about 3 glasses or more of milk a day, which is kind of crazy, you know, but, you know, that's how Mama rolls. And the snacks, I mean, like I said, 8 o'clock at night is, you know, I kept saying multiple times the very mean Chris, RT from Heck, she was like, I'm like, can we have snacks earlier? I'm like, right after dinner. I'm like, it's not good for you to eat this late. Eating late drives me crazy. If I eat after, like, 6:30 is like the latest I'll eat dinner. I mean, when you go to movies at like 11 or noon, I'm like, I want to eat something first. Because when I went to the movies the other day, I went to see Mary Poppins Returns, which is an amazing movie, by the way. Everybody should go see it. You know, we didn't have lunch. I had popcorn. Okay, that was my lunch. I didn't get home until about 4 o'clock, so I was pretty hungry by that point, and it was kind of like I am right now. Actually, it's 9 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock in the East Coast, so, I mean, we're getting close to midnight. I'm almost there. The other side of the world's already celebrating New Year, so Happy New Year. Everybody there is probably, I mean, Australia was probably one of the first places to celebrate because I looked it up. And then China and the Koreas and Russia and Middle East and Europe, and I mean, we're near kind of in near the home stretch of celebrating New Year's. I think, like I said, I think Hawaii is like one of the last places that celebrates it. Just, I mean, it's like middle of the afternoon in Hawaii still. Lucky ducks. It's probably still light out for all I know. So by like 3 in the morning, it's finally like 5 in the morning. It's probably midnight. I mean, it's still dark out till 7 o'clock at least. I mean, it's winter now. So, but here it's been, well, everywhere it's had a pretty crazy winter. I mean, it's been cold in Florida. It's been cold in Texas. It's been, I mean, last year in Texas we got snow, which I know was pretty awesome, actually. I mean, I told my roommate, I was like, it's snowing. And I mean, she's from California. They get snow in California, in the mountains. I actually have skied once. I fell down. I mean, everybody does that, I think. It's like ice skating. I do want to try ice skating, though. I mean, I rollerblade, so it's very similar. I'm starting to get bored about this stuff on TV. Here I am still an hour later, almost, and still talking late, and it's some more bubbly. I try to wait till 10 and then have some water and then drink some bubbly, and I just brought me a cider, by the way, and I'll drink. But, yeah. Of course, I bought all this stuff with the, you know, the best of the year, you know. I'm trying to think of anything good that happened this year between, there's a lot of crazy stuff like, you know, the usual fires and hurricanes, and never hear about earthquakes or mudslides. I mean, last year there was Florida that got hit by her. In Texas, got hit by a hurricane. I mean, I don't think I've seen that much water in Texas since I saw Katrina. And New Orleans, which is on just on TV a second ago. But anyway, I'm gonna put this up now before either I end up like 2 hours long or I don't know. Yeah, on ABC, through New Orleans. You know, I haven't been in New Orleans since 2014, I think. Something like that. I need to go see my cat. And among other same things, like I want to say on the camera. I just have to ask, why does Broadway in like every city? So like Canal Street, it's in New Orleans, it's in New York, it's in a million other cities, I think. Except for Chicago, apparently. At least Michigan Avenue in Chicago is bigger than Bourbon Street in New Orleans is. But next year I do hope to, shouldn't be this year, I need to go to New Orleans again, Chicago again. At least we're going to Florida for my birthday in February, I think. I mean, I haven't been on any rides in years, since they updated, like, everything. Test Track and Space of Earth and oh geez, they updated Pirates of the Caribbean this year. Just everybody is all politically correct about, you know, the We Want the Redhead scene. If anybody's seen that, that's also in the movies. I did a Best of Beauty review. I need to do like tomorrow I need to do like Best of Movies, TV shows. I already did books. Like I said, my Lindsay Sterling merch review or something. And also, of course, I'll be doing my Disney ones from, like, standing on the, hopefully, balcony. We're staying at 2 hotels. We're staying at Yacht Club, and we're staying at Boardwalk for my birthday. I want to stay at Grand Floridian or Cabana Bay, which is by Universal, but we're not probably going to Universal until May when my niece graduates high school. So I'm not glad we're not going for her birthday in August, because Florida's freaking not in August, okay? I mean, I think Vegas is probably worse. Oh my god, I made it to an hour. I mean, I knew this would happen. I mean, I've seen Best of the Year videos where it's like about this long, and I mean, there's some things I can watch that's an hour, like, you know, like 9/11 specials, which, you know, I don't really want to watch that, obviously, but, you know, there's not forbid. Or Katrina stuff. Oh, somebody gonna propose. That Keith Urban, thank God. Interesting how many artists perform. I mean, when I saw Lindsay Sterling, she performed from like 8 to like 10, 15, which I think is a great amount of time to perform instead of going to like 11 o'clock. I mean, it's like, why would I go to concerts like Jazz Fest in New Orleans at, you know, in the middle of the day instead of night? Because, you know, it's only like an hour or two, but it's a lot of walking and eating and dealing with the weather and all sorts of crazy stuff. I should do a video on that. I mean, there's only been a few artists I've seen at Jazz Fest, which includes New Orleans Fairly Miranda Shaw and Elton John, and that's because my friend's mom wanted to see her, but see him, I mean, I want to see her, of course. If you want more deets on Amanda, just go to YouTube, and I mean, actually there are multiple Amanda Shaws online, which is interesting, because thankfully I get, when I find her on Twitter, I know which one it is. For to, you know, a couple of times I take the wrong one online someplace. But here it is an hour later. It's hard to believe it's almost a new year. Before this video gets any longer, it's just past an hour. You know, I wish everybody a happy 2019, and I will see everybody in a new video hopefully tomorrow sometime. Probably not till like mid-morning because I'm sleeping in, and it's either yesterday or Saturday I slept until 9, which rarely happens because I'm freaking out like I want to work or something in the morning. Also, another thing about Texas, there are times where they call me on the phone saying you need to go to class, or I'm like, I'm not going to class. I don't feel well. I said that already, but yeah. Some of this. I'll see everybody tomorrow.